If you sell digital products and you feel scattered and like you're not doing your digital products justice, maybe you've created lots of products and you're not really focusing on marketing or selling any of them that well, then this video is for you. I have totally been there. And I built myself out a central system using Notion to manage my digital product business and to try and get over this problem. I decided to create this system because I have a background in retail buying, and when I worked in retail buying, the main thing that we used was a central hub to manage our entire product range. And we used this to plan out product ranges, to then measure the results and track how well products were performing. And then we would go back to this database and look at it in detail when we were planning our next range to decide what products to keep and what to let go of, and maybe what new things to try. So this video is actually going to be the first in a playlist where I take you behind the scenes of my business and show you different ways that I use Notion or Notion AI to run my own business and to make decisions. But in this video, because there's too many kind of things to cover in this video, which is why it's going to be a playlist. So in this video, I'm just going to show you an overview of the system and why having a central hub is so important. And then we'll move on to some of the specific features in coming videos. So if that sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe so you get notifications for the future videos. So before we jump into the system and take a look, you can grab my free guide that goes along with this video series, and it's called 10 Unknown Ways to Use Notion and AI to Grow Your Digital Product Business. And I'll leave a link to that in the description. But now let's jump into Notion and take a look at the system. Okay, so this is my demo version of my hub, and the reason I love to have a central place and Notion is so good for having a central hub is two Notion features that are really useful for connecting things and linking different databases together. So that is that we can have a database like this, my overall kind of marketing campaign calendar, which is showing on the homepage here. And we can have this as a database showing as a calendar, but we can also then use it in different views. This is all the same database, where we can then view our marketing activity as a graph and actually review what we've done at the end of the month as well, which I think is an important kind of time saver to take that information that you're using at planning stage and then reuse it for reviewing and seeing how you've done at the end of the month and kind of getting feedback on what's worked. So that's one reason, is having different views of databases is really useful for so many different reasons. And then the other reason I love Notion for creating a central hub is if I go into my factory, which is kind of where I store all digital product ideas, if I create a new product and make it full page, and I scroll down, you'll see this is loading up. I have a default template set up for my product database, which includes all of the kind of steps of my workflow for creating a new digital product and then marketing and selling that digital product. So we'll be covering these first two toggles, foundations and launch prep, in some upcoming videos in the playlist. I just want to show you this Notion feature, which I think is really useful for creating a central hub, whether it's for your digital product business or any other business. And that is, I have these sections where I'm working on my messaging angles and coming up with content ideas specific to my product. And then I have this content marketing section where I can literally take, let's go into here, one of my messaging angles. I can take that, copy it, and I can directly plug it into my content planner from here, and I can start working on that when I'm planning my content. So I can link up databases for specific purposes. So if it's like the next step in the process, so this is the process of planning my product and getting it launched, but I know I need to market that, but marketing is a kind of ongoing task that we're going to be doing long term, so I can have a view of my content marketing database from within my product database so that I can follow on that process. And when I'm needing to come up with new content ideas specific to this product, I can come back in here and I can look at my marketing ideas and I can go, oh yeah, I want to focus on one of the features I'll come down here, I'll pull out time-consuming content creation takes 5+ hours a week. I'll copy that, and I'll go down to my marketing database or my long-form content database and paste it in. Or if I'm using social media, I would add it into my micro content database. And it just makes everything more organized and easy to find when you're wanting to go back and work on stuff. So that's kind of the main reasons I love to have a hub, because I can link everything up, and then I can also do things like, going back into the Content Hub again, sorry. If I open up this Pet Business Owner's YouTube video that's being planned, I can even link to my task manager and create a new task. So let's say I need to film a YouTube video. I can create this as a new one, a new task. Obviously I would specify what YouTube video, I just can't remember what this one's called off the top of my head. And I can click into that and I can add more information about the task. I can say, okay, I need to do this by Friday. I can put in more information about the YouTube video or the task. I can give it a priority. So let's say this is high. I can assign it to somebody, myself, and then when I go back to my task manager, we should see that this week I need to film my YouTube video. So that is set up using relations. So it just allows us to create a system where everything talks to each other, because I kind of don't work in to-do lists, if that makes sense. So to-do lists can be handy in a task manager like this, but I tend to work through processes and workflows rather than to-do lists. And I think Notion is really useful for this. So this maybe looks quite complex at first glance, but what essentially you're doing is you're inputting a product in Factory, and you're working through the process of creating and launching that product, and then to market and sell that product, your entries in the Factory then feed through to your long form content planner, your micro content planner, and these feed through to your sales campaign planner. And then our feedback is also linked up. So we have a feedback section from within our Factory where we create our survey questions, and that feeds back to this database. And they all can link up to each other in the way that you like to work. And so this is kind of why having a central hub in Notion is a great way to manage this. If you want more ideas like this, make sure to grab the free guide, 10 Unknown Ways to Use Notion and AI to Grow Your Digital Product Business. And if you ever feel stuck trying to figure out who you're actually selling to, and like your products aren't really landing with anybody, and maybe that's why you're struggling to sell them, then the next video is going to be for you, where I'll walk you through how I use Notion and AI to figure out and take a deep dive into who my target client is, which then makes the whole process from then on in much easier, from marketing, messaging, positioning, all of it. So that's what's coming next. So if you're watching in the future, it'll be showing now. If you're watching this just after publishing, it'll be available in a couple of days. So make sure to subscribe to get the notification to see when it's ready.